what was your first perception when you saw John's performance?
So I did have high hopes after seeing the teaser, and then I think it's one of his best.
I have not seen people talking about a Hindi film in the US the way they've been talking about Pathaan.
Tanya, is it only me or you are getting emotional while you're talking about John right now?
No, no, I think it be.
Right.
No,
Okay.
I'm not getting emotional.
First time I watched it in 26 with my family, and my first reaction like, wow, this is the next level. I don't even feel like I'm watching Bollywood movies. That's so damn good. I'm even willing to not go to the toilet so I don't miss every second of the film.
Shah Rukh Khan said at the press conference that out of all the performances, John's performance is something that was the most remarkable. As a John Abraham fan, what does it mean to you?
And I really appreciate this gesture of him. His kiss on John's cheek was so cute, and it was straight from the heart that we could feel.
Most of these the viewers were SRK fans, and they were taking pictures of John, and that was a very happy and proud moment for me as well as a John Abraham fan, to see that he is being appreciated and loved by fans of the movie.
As a fan, I feel that John Abraham is not an actor, but he's an emotion to us. So Jimmy was the best.
Kriti from Dehradun, Shash from Colombo, Sri Lanka, Tanya from New York, Neha from Noida, and Raisha from Indonesia. So guys, pleasure having you with us on Connect FM Canada. How are you doing?
Thank
Very
you.
well.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
So good to see you.
And good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Tanya, thank you very much for joining from New York at 2 a.m. in the night. That is, that is what I think fandom is all about. And you guys are huge. Yeah, you guys are huge John Abraham fans. All right, so my first question to all of you will be, where will you rate John's performance in his entire filmography as far as Pathaan is concerned? We'll start with Kriti.
Yeah, so I believe his performance in Pathaan has been one of his best performances till date. I have been his fan for last 2 decades, and I believe that with experience, he has really evolved in his acting skills. And as far as his body is concerned, it's been good always, but somehow his ability to deliver his dialogues and his genuinity while he's following his role is much better in this film than the rest of them, I feel so. And being in this hall twice, I saw the movie twice, the reaction that I saw there of the fans during this performance I have not seen this kind of appreciation before for John than this movie.
What was the show that you watched it on? First day did you see it?
Yes, of course. I've always made sure I watch not the first show, but definitely the first day. So the halls were totally crowded. People were going crazy, and I loved every bit of it. Movie and after the movie, it was just like a festival. People were so excited, and I was going crazy. I was all dressed up in my John attire, all black and all set with my bags on, so people could make out like she's one crazy John Abraham fan. So it was wonderful. Even the second time, the involvement and the craze was as much. It's not like that after 4 days it was slightly lesser. People were equally excited about every show that I saw.
So Shash from Colombo, Sri Lanka. So I've not spoken to any fan yet from Sri Lanka. This is interesting. So Shash, what time did you watch the film? What sort of response has been there for the film in Colombo, in Sri Lanka in general?
So it was the 10 p.m. show, and I actually booked that thinking that it would be relatively less crowded. But it was houseful, and it was last Friday. So just 2 days after the movie was released, and houseful, and the response was very good. And I'm thinking, especially because it's the return of Shah Rukh, But yeah, everybody was very enthusiastic and they loved the show.
What was your first perception when you saw John's performance?
So I did have high hopes after seeing the teaser, and then I think it's one of his best, because after Doom, I think it's the most response he's getting from the fans as well as the non-fans as well, all the viewers, because he's getting appreciated, and then that is a very proud thing for us John fans. And yeah, it's one of his best.
All right, Tanya, New York. So tell me, what was your first thought like? When did you watch the film?
So I watched the film on the first weekend after it came out, just because I work and things are busy. And I can tell you that I have never seen this kind of response from people who watch Indian movies in the US. Everybody was watching Pathaan. Everybody was talking about Pathaan here in the US. I have not seen people talking about a Hindi film in the US the way they've been talking about Pathaan. And so many friends of mine are posting about it online. They're recommending that you have to go see this film. It's one of a kind. It's a Hollywood style action in Hindi cinema. So a lot of excitement from a lot of Indian Americans and non-Indian Americans here in the US. In terms of John and his performance, to be honest, I think this was his best performance for sure. But I do think when John is a very serious actor, and he always gives every project, every film, 200%. But this time I feel as though his hard work has paid off. And because someone of his talent, his stamina, and caliber deserved to be part of a high budget action film. And that he was able to do that with Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone also in the film. I just feel that this was the right film for him, and he deserved it. And he deserves all the success that he's getting from not only, he deserves all the attentions he's getting, not only from his own fans, but from people that weren't his fans before.
Tanya, is it only me, or you are getting emotional while you're talking about John right now?
No, no, I think it would be.
Right,
no,
okay.
I'm not getting emotional. Maybe a little bit.
I hope your eyes are not moist right now when you're talking about him.
No, no.
Neha, so you are in Noida. What show did you watch the film?
We planned to watch it on the 25th or 26th because it was a holiday for each of us. But the entire shows were packed, and because I have an 8-year-old daughter, and my parents were also interested to watch Pathaan, so we were looking for a day show basically. So we booked it on the 27th, and it was a very good experience. Almost the half of the cinema was booked, and we really enjoyed. In fact, my parents walked in, and they enjoyed the show. My daughter, who is also a John Abraham fan, so she also had a nice time. She had all the markers in her hand, and she was busy copying those tattoos on her hand just to copy Jim. And we really had a good time in the theater. And one thing I would like to mention is that the moment it was Jim's entry, I was so overwhelmed. I couldn't stop clicking the pictures. I think I have to see it once again, that I'm going with my girlfriends on day after tomorrow. I have planned with them because I was all lost and overwhelmed just taking the pictures of Jim. And the couple who was sitting next to me on my right, they were, I think I was bothering them a lot because I was just taking pictures and pictures. And then after saying meeting the pictures, they also started hooting and taking pictures of John. So it was a bit crazy feeling for me as a John fan. So I definitely have to watch it again.
Reisha, where exactly in Indonesia are you?
I'm in Jakarta. Jakarta. First time I watched it in 26 with my family, and my first reaction like, wow, this is the next level. I don't even feel like I'm watching Bollywood movies. Um, that's so damn good. I'm even willing to not go to the toilet so I don't miss every second of the film. And after a long time, I have a great experience watching Bollywood movie. And I don't remember the last Bollywood movie that get so much hype like this before. I was kind of shocked because I watched it at 10 p.m. and it's full house in Indonesia. So yeah, I feel so happy to see that people go to watch Bollywood movie and appreciate the cast like Shah Rukh Khan, like John Abraham, and Deepika Padukone, of course.
What time did you watch the film? What show?
In 10 p.m. last show, and that's full house for Pathaan.
So how many screens and theaters is the movie running in, and how is the response like?
It's three screen, and all the screen is a full house for Pathaan because everyone is of course Shah Rukh Khan is the main reason for watching Pathaan. He is the superstar, he is the king, and he's so famous in Indonesia. So he's the reason of many people watching Pathaan. But of course, John Abraham, we can't ignore his performance because he's so damn good as Jim. His character is the way he carried the character, the way he's delivered on screen is so brilliant. So, like Shah Rukh Khan fans said before that everyone go to watch Shah Rukh Khan but end up falling in love with John Abraham. That feeling so great that John Abraham got so much love got the same love for in Pathaan.
All right, so Kriti, Shah Rukh Khan said at the press conference that out of all the performances, John's performance is something that was the most remarkable. As a John Abraham fan, what does it mean to you?
So I believe he is very humble and he is a very genuine person to actually recognize John's talent. I have not been a Shah Rukh Khan fan ever, but I think this is the first movie of his that I have seen on the first day. And later, while studying, see, we are always on Twitter and we are always following John. Like 24 hours, it's like John and John. So while following Pathaan, we have been following Shah Rukh as well. So all this while I have realized that he's been very appreciative about John's work, which I have not witnessed earlier. He is giving him the true recognition he deserves. He has deserved all this while. And I believe John's selection of movies has been to his contentment. He does what he likes to do, and that is one reason that most of his films have not been accepted to that level, right? So here the acceptance level because of Shah Rukh promoting him, appreciating him has been much more. That's what I believe, and I'm really thankful, and I really appreciate this gesture of him. His cheek on John, his kiss on John's cheek was so cute, and it was straight from the heart that we could feel. He has become very fond of John than earlier meetings of his. I feel so. So we are very thankful for him because being a superstar, being followed by millions and millions of people with such a huge fandom, he appreciating someone means a lot. It means a lot. And when Shah Rukh is appreciating John's work, see, before the release of the movie also he said, I just wish that his character is really appreciated. After the movie he said, I believe the success of Pathaan goes to Jim. So accepting that and appreciating that, being such a superstar, he could have completely ignored John, but it was not that. I really am thankful from the bottom of my heart to him for giving him true recognition, which I feel he has not gotten till now.
So Tanya, do you feel that um, I think maybe the motivation that John's character has in the film makes people in two minds whether to maybe sympathize with him, or maybe whether consider him a villain. So that mixture of a feeling, do you think that it's a beautiful dichotomy to have in a way?
Now, do you mean that the fact that in the film his character plays the villain, but there's a reason why he's the villain? There's a sad story behind it. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, definitely. I think it's also appears to be a very common theme in a lot of John Abraham films, where he might turn into a dark person because something has happened to, well, I don't want to give any spoilers of the film in this video, but this dynamic is pretty common in John Abraham films, and I think it's a role that suits him very, very well. It's also a role that many of his fans are used to seeing. And it's a role that he can play very well. He's not just a villain for the sake of being a villain. There's a reason why he's a villain in the film.
I'm really thankful to you for pointing this out in your last interview with Milap sir. I mean, being fans, we could not notice this particular notion that came from you, that you observed while watching the movie, that having a mixed feeling for an actor is a very brilliant thing. It's a very amazing thing, you know, because on one side, he's so cute, he's so lovable, and you are feeling so positive about him. And on the other side, he's an antagonist, and he's performing against the hero. So what you said, I was so happy to hear that, because you're very, very right. Jim has been a gem in the movie, and this mixed feelings that he has aroused in his fans is another feather in his cap.
All right, that's amazing. All right, so Shash, what about you? Do you feel that John is a fulcrum of the film in more ways than one? You wait for him to appear on screen. He has looked very, I think, very cute and very enigmatic. The way he smiles, and the way he just says that all those dialogues in terms of that the game is beginning. So did you find that exciting? Did you find that just literally energizing the entire cinema hall?
Of course, I mean, I went to watch the movie just for John, mainly for John, I would say. And then I was waiting for him to come on screen. And even when they showed the back and then he was on the call, I was like really excited even without seeing his face. But he has worked so hard for this role, even getting his physique prepared, getting that lean look. That's something new for him as well. So I was really looking forward to seeing him on screen. And then when I saw him, I was so excited. And the other thing I noticed is that people were taking pictures, because most of these the viewers were SRK fans, and they were taking pictures of John. And that was a very happy and proud moment for me as well, as a John Abraham fan, to see that he is being appreciated and loved by fans of the movie. And then he delivered as well. I think more than people expected. So that's why he's getting all the recognition and the appreciation from the fan community.
All right, Raisha, what about you? Do you feel that it's very important to have a strong negative lead for the film to literally hold itself till the end? How important is having a negative lead, good, solid negative lead? And do you think John Abraham justified that?
Yeah, that's so important. After a long time, John returns back to his lovable villainous form that he once done in Doom. I think John is the only villain we can hate. He's the most lovable villain in the country. Be it Doom, be it Cinda, be it Edward, or be it a villain returns, he always nailed a villainous character. Of course, he is so amazing as a hero, but when it's come to villain, it's another level. No one can match his swag and attitude.
No one can match his swag. So, Raisha, since when have you been a John Abraham fan?
I become John Abraham fan since 2019.
2019. And you've seen all his earlier films as well?
Yeah. First time I watched John Abraham movie is Jism. and I instantly love him and become his fan.
Neha, what about you? Do you feel that you need a good negative lead, and do you think that John had all the ingredients?
Yeah, see, if I talk only about John Abraham, then he has always surprised us in a negative role. He was always powerful in a negative lead. And when there is a hero in the movie, there has to be a villain as well. And what better than John Abraham, who is always, he is giving 100%, whatever role he is getting. And he is good looking. And if we talk about Pathaan, I think if I feel that the title of the movie was Pathaan, but some of us were discussing that why not it's Jim, because most of us were talking about Jim when we were coming out of the theater. So for me, he has given 100%, and he was the best. It was the best performance by John Abraham in Pathaan as Jim. And I as a fan, I feel that John Abraham is not an actor, but he's an emotion to us. So Jim was the best.
As a fan, would you like to have like a prequel to Pathaan, Jim's story, what really happened?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want a
We'll
sequel.
be waiting.
I hope someone is
I
watching.
I can see it working very well too. I just
Very
want to
well.
make one comment. I feel like John Abraham kind of revolutionized the villain role for Hindi movies back in Dhoom. And he's like in Dhoom, he played the villain, but a villain that was attractive, that had swag. And in real life, villains are not always not good looking. Some of them can be attractive. I feel like he revolutionized that villain role for the Hindi film industry. And, and it just, him performing in Pathaan as the villain just reinforced that he is amazing playing this type of role.
Kriti, which is that one moment of John from Pathaan that stayed with you?
Oh, well, sir, I believe the time he is talking to the team, he is just telling them about the problem that is going to surround them soon with the blue shirt that he says, your time starts now. That particular moment is, I mean, it's unbelievable. John has been an amazing combination of his charm and his evil hotness, and that combination has really driven all of us crazy.
Raisha, what about you? Which is that one moment from Pathaan of John that stayed with you the most?
All the moment is memorable, but the moment when still stuck in my head is when his entry walked slowly with that mask, and with the whistling, it's get me goosebumps when his entry like that and zooming to his tattoo. So yeah, that's of course the pool scene. The pool scene is the one of my favorite and everyone favorites. Of course, the way he smirked on SRK, and everyone on the theater started screaming like that. And when he come out of the water, and I almost fainted. And yeah, that's my memorable, my favorite moment.
Neha, what about you? What is your that moment of Jim that stayed with you most?
To be honest, every frame of Jim was very close to me, and that background score, la 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 la. La. So that was it's still in my head, and that one moment when Shah Rukh was searching for Deepika, and then in the swimming pool, you remember that scene when John gave a smirk to Shah Rukh. So that was very
That's my favorite scene.
very witty smile, and it was very close to me.
Tanya, what about you?
Neha stole my answer because that is the same scene that that burned a hole in my head. It's because the main character of the film is Pathaan, and Pathaan is terrified of Jim, or terrified of Jim because of what happened earlier. but he's searching for, Deepika's character, or her name is Rubaya. And when she's swimming in the pool and he notices him right behind her, and he gives this extremely evil, devilish, sexy smile. I mean, it burned a hole in my mind. And then when he comes out of the pool and you see the physique that he has at the age of 50, it's just amazing. It's impressive. I mean, that was the most memorable scene for me.
All right, Shash, what about you?
For me also, I think it was the pool scene, but not just because of his smirk and how he looked when he got out of the pool in those white trunks, and even after when he wore that the stripy jacket, but it was also the chemistry that he had with SRK, like when they came close and like they were talking, because the actors need to have real chemistry in real life for that to translate on screen. So I thought that had translated beautifully. And then I loved the bromance between SRK and John, and the appreciation and the love that SRK has shown towards John. And I think the movie worked for them because of that, because if they were not getting along so well in real life, they wouldn't have been able to act that way in the movie.
Your favorite John Abraham film, apart from Pathaan, of course?
It's a very difficult question, sir, but I really like Rocky Handsome. And I like Dishoom very much. Two movies I am really fond of. And sorry, Force as well.
All right, Tanya, what about you?
For me, it was Shootout at Wadala. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, right? Shootout at Wadala. Yeah, that was my favorite film. His performance, his acting, the way he played Money, the gangster, I thought was very spot on. And I thought it was also a great film.
Okay, Neha, what about you?
Force and New York.
Shash, what about you?
Rocky Handsome, because that's when I first noticed how good of an action star he is. And then I started watching his interviews and found out that he's a great human being as well. So that's sort of when I started really liking him. So yeah, definitely Rocky Handsome.
Raisha, what about you?
I really like his performance in Jism, because I don't even feel like that movie is his debut, because his acting is in this film is just outstanding and brilliant. And another film is I like New York and Garam Masala. That was so much fun.
In fact, I'm a big fan of Madras Cafe. I thought it was a very, very good performance, and I still remember we did an interview for that film at Mehboob Studio, and before the interview, I was at Bandstand and I was doing my research, because I personally found the premise of the film very, very interesting, and I loved researching for that interview with him, and we had a very fine conversation. It's still there on YouTube. So for me, I think Madras Cafe, it's a very good performance from him as well. All right, so guys, thank you very much for talking to me, and all of you, Tanya, especially for you. Are you working tomorrow? Today?
No.
So that's great.
I'm not. I have tomorrow's a day off.
All right.
Sir,
So
can I take a minute, please?
Please go ahead.
I just want to convey as a fan that we are his fans not only because that he's a star, that he looks so good, he's such a good actor. For most of us, we are his fans because of his personality. So he is one guy who has been inspiring each one of us in such a way that we personally believe we have become very good human beings. Like, I love to follow him, the way he treats people, the way he cares for his family and anything related to that, mostly animals. Like, he's really made us really good human beings, and when we follow him, it's not about his stardom, it's not about his acting, it's more about him as a human being. So that is what I wanted to point out, sir. And I have just started my own NGO and animal shelter, which is inspired by him, which he has given the name to it. It's called Operation Kindness. So I believe he's getting the best out of his fans, not only as health conscious people or stuff, but as very good human beings. So we love him for that.
That's
I
amazing.
wanted
Yeah,
really, I wanted
Yes.
he inspires millions of young Indians to work out and go to the gym, and I think that's amazing.
That's amazing. So, guys, thank you very much wherever you are, and all the best wishes. And lovely talking to you guys. Thank you very much. Good night from here.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.